Hola, es la video de portfolio número 3 para los módulos 14, 15 y 16 o 15 y 16. 15 y 16 por cierto. All of the writing is in azul. First you can start with las palabras. And for A, no para B, C, D, E, jefe, G, H, I, no J, no K, L, M, N, O, P, no Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, E, I, Z. Awesome. So that is the palabras. And then next up, we have the estructura, which we had a decent amount of in modulo 16. We had the pluripotent subjunctive, which we have all here with the different forms of it, a lot of different examples that are good to remind yourself how it's really used. Here's some more about irregular verbs, like when it's used in examples more. The pluripotent subjunctive had a lot of examples. Next up, we had the conditional perfect. Here's kind of the structure again, and again, like the uses and the examples. I found that was the best way to organize it for me. And then here we talked about hypothetical clauses, like using kind of the third form of the conditional. So even talking about a conditional, just like how you use the auxiliary clauses, and just examples of when you can use them. Right? And the final part of my third portfolio is of the Vida, which was really interesting for this as we talked about two different countries. In Modulo 15, we talked a lot about Paraguay. Here's a lot of information just about the capital, like some of the big facts. A lot about yerba mate, which is a really interesting and big deal in Paraguay, and I learned a lot about it. I certainly didn't know. Talked about some of the other really important things in Paraguay, like reusable energy, a lot of different people, just like the culture there, and the Guarani, which is a huge part of the language in Paraguay, which is really unique to the Paraguayan culture. Talked a lot about different people and all of the things that were great to visit, which were awesome, and then about some of the culture of Paraguay. As you can see again, it's all in blue. Finally, we also had music of Paraguay, and then some of the really great people that are like Jose Luis Chivaré, some of the great Paraguayans themselves. Here I just have some notes for the El Quismografio número 4, just to remind myself now that I'm getting on to the final and doing the reflection. Finally, we had in Modulo 15, we had Peru, which is similar. Here's some great information, some of the important stuff about Peru, in particular like corn and potatoes, a lot of the stuff that's really important to be grown, including camu camu and some of the textiles. Here's more just about like people in Paraguay in general and some of the cultural things it's really good to know. Here's some about like the Indian culture, which is really important, and then a whole bunch about the great things to visit, like Machu Picchu and Lima, just like a really beautiful colonial city. Here's more about places to visit, and a simple drawing of the Paraguayan flute, which was really interesting. I didn't know that was as much to Peru. And then here we have some more just about like the dances and the celebrations and the great people of Peru. So that's my portfolio for all of the last remaining modules and for the end of class. Muchas gracias.